Today, I'm going to tell you the story of a battle that took place on the darkest night of 1945 and was never recorded in history. Hulk and Bugs Bunny. Two legends, two enemies, one battlefield. Can you guess who will win? World War II had ended, but the real war was just beginning. A secret experiment, a plan gone wrong, and two creatures emerged unaware of each other in the same city on the same night. Explosions echoing through the streets of Manhattan, screams and unexpected laughter. But this story isn't just about a clash. It's about the collision of two souls, two different powers, and two separate destinies. One born from rage, the other from wit. One created to destroy, the other to survive. And that night, beneath New York, in a place no one knew about, the truth would emerge. Are you ready? Because this story is very different from what you know. In the shadow of the Manhattan Project, there was another project no one knew about. Code name, Toon Force. General Theodore Maddox was walking through the darkest corridors of the Pentagon, files in his hands, photos inside, and in every photo, the same face, Bugs Bunny. "That's a rabbit, General," said Colonel Richards. His voice was trembling. "No," said Maddox, "that's a weapon." The rabbit drawn at Warner Brothers Studios since 1940 wasn't real, but it was, because some drawings, some characters, could be brought to life. There was a special formula mixed into the animation ink, radioactive isotopes, mysterious chemicals, and a genius, Dr. Elvin Schrader. He had managed to bend the laws of physics. Toon Force is an energy that bends reality. Comedy defeats logic. Cartoon rules crush the laws of physics. And on April 12, 1945, Schrader succeeded. Bugs Bunny stepped off the paper. That same day, in the New Mexico desert, another experiment was taking place. Dr. Bruce Banner was a young physicist. He was working on the Manhattan Project, but he had his own special research, gamma radiation. "This energy can completely restructure human cells," he had said. No one believed him. Banner knew no one would give permission, so he worked in secret. At midnight, in the secret facility in the desert, he was alone. He stood in front of the gamma-ray machine. His heart was pounding. Just a small dose, controlled. He pressed the button. Light exploded, and as Bruce Banner writhed on the ground, his body turned green. His muscles swelled. His eyes turned blood red. His first word came with a roar. "Hulk!" Two creatures, two different powers, but born at the same time, on the same night, and fate would bring them face to face. Bugs Bunny stood outside the Warner Brothers studio. He looked around. Los Angeles, the real world. He was no longer a cartoon character. He could breathe, he could touch, he could feel. What's up, Doc?" he said to himself. His voice echoed. A car passed. Bugs jumped. The car drove over him. But Bugs got up from the ground, dusted himself off. "Rules still apply," he said with a smile. Toon Force made him immortal. Comedy protected him. But he wasn't free. General Maddox came with soldiers. "Capture him." Bugs raised an eyebrow. "Who are you, Doc?" "You're going to work for me. You're a weapon, property of the U.S. Army." Bugs pulled out a carrot. "Property? You're messing with the wrong rabbit, pal." He bit the carrot. The crunch echoed in the air. Soldiers fired. Bugs danced between the bullets. None hit him. He jumped from one, took another's gun, tied it in a knot. "Want me to teach you magic tricks?" he said, laughing. Then he opened a hole in the ground and jumped in. The hole closed. Maddox gritted his teeth. "Find him, whatever it takes." That same night, there was a transport from New Mexico to Manhattan. Hulk was being transported in a massive truck, bound in heavy chains. He had been sedated, but the effect was wearing off. His eyes opened. "Hulk, want to be free!" The chains broke, the truck overturned, soldiers scattered. Hulk appeared on the streets of New York. People screamed, cars crashed, chaos began. "Hulk alone!" he roared. "Hulk, sad!" He punched a building. The building shook, windows shattered, military units arrived, tanks, helicopters, fire. Bullets bounced off Hulk's body. Rockets exploded. Hulk staggered, but didn't fall. "Hulk strong!" he roared. He lifted a tank and threw it. Manhattan was turning it to a battlefield. General Maddox watched from the helicopter. There were two problems now, a rabbit and a monster. "We must control both, or destroy both." But he had an idea. "We can use them against each other." Bugs Bunny had come to New York. Through underground tunnels, through sewers, he reached the heart of Manhattan. The Big Apple always wanted to see it. But there was silence. No one on the streets. Buildings were empty. "Odd," said Bugs. He pulled out a carrot. Then he heard the explosion. In the distance, Hulk was roaring and throwing a police car into the air. Bugs squinted. "What's that?" He saw Hulk. The green giant was angrily destroying everything around him. "Doc, I think you need to calm down," said Bugs. Hulk turned. Saw Bugs. "Rabbit!" Bugs raised an eyebrow. "Rabbit? That's not very nice." Hulk ran. The ground shook. Bugs waited. At the last second, he jumped aside. Hulk crashed into the wall. The building collapsed. "Oops! Brakes seem faulty." Hulk emerged from the rubble. His eyes burned with crimson flames. "Hulk! Smash!" He threw a punch. Bugs grabbed a manhole cover from the ground and made it a shield. The punch hit the cover. Metal crushed. Bugs flew back. "You're a strong one." Then he threw a carrot. The carrot hit Hulk's forehead. An explosion occurred. Hulk staggered. "What this?" Bugs grinned. "Special recipe. Explosive carrot, patent pending." General Maddox was watching from afar. "Perfect. They're wearing each other down. We'll capture both." But Bugs noticed something. There were snipers on the roofs, hidden soldiers. A trap had been set. "Doc, they're using us!" Hulk attacked again. This time he was faster. He barely caught Bugs. Bugs hit the wall. He felt pain. For the first time, he actually felt pain. "Okay, this is serious." He grabbed a garbage can from the ground, put it on Hulk's head. Hulk went blind. He spun around. "Hulk not see!" Bugs ran, but soldiers fired tranquilizer darts. They stuck in Bugs's neck. "Oh boy," he said. He fell to the ground. Hulk tore off the can, saw Bugs on the ground. "Rabbit, on ground!" But soldiers fired at Hulk too. Hundreds of tranquilizer darts. Hulk staggered. Hulk tired. Both collapsed to the ground. When Bugs opened his eyes, he was in a metal cell. The walls had special materials. They were weakening tune force. "Great, I'm a caged bird." In the cell next to him was Hulk, but now he was Bruce Banner. Banner sat with his knees hugged to his chest. His eyes were empty. "Did they catch you too?" said Bugs. Banner raised his head. "You can talk?" "Yeah, Doc, and you can turn into a green monster. I'd say we're even." Banner shook his head. "I can't control it. Hulk isn't me. He's the rage inside me." Bugs moved closer. "Everyone gets angry, Doc. You just get greener when you're angry." Banner didn't smile. "I'm a monster. Every day I hurt someone. Hey, I'm a rabbit, and they were going to make me a weapon, but I choose my own destiny." Banner looked up. "How?" "I never give up, and I'm never alone." Bugs pulled out a carrot. Want a carrot? Banner reached out, took the carrot, bit it. For the first time in a long time, he smiled. General Maddox entered. Nice. You became friends, but that won't save you. You're both weapons, and you will serve my army. Bugs stood up. Do you know who you're talking to, Doc? I'm Bugs Bunny. I write the script. This isn't a cartoon, said Maddox. Everywhere is a cartoon, General. Bugs grinned. Maddox pressed the button. Electric shock. Bugs fell to the ground, screamed in pain. Banner began transforming into Hulk. No, don't touch him! But special drugs kicked in. Hulk remained half transformed, in pain. Maddox laughed. You're under control. Soon you'll go to war, and you'll die for America. That night in the darkness, Bugs and Banner talked. We have to escape, said Bugs. How? Everything here suppresses us, Bugs thought. Toon Force bends the laws of physics, but the walls here absorb animation energy. Gamma radiation, too. They're weakening Hulk. So, what if we combine them? Banner looked. What do you mean? Your power is rage, mine is comedy. Both defy logic. Both break rules. What if we use both at the same time? Banner scratched his head. Theoretically possible, but very dangerous. If Toon Force and Gamma energy collide, there will be an explosion. Bugs smiled. Exactly what we want. The next morning, soldiers opened the cell. Get up. Work time. Bugs and Banner stood up. They were taken outside, led to a massive test area. In the center, there were targets, dummies, representing enemy soldiers. Destroy them or electric shock. Bugs looked at Banner. Banner nodded. He began transforming into Hulk, but slowly, controlled. Bugs pulled out a carrot, but didn't throw it. What are you waiting for? Shouted Maddox. Bugs grinned. Waiting for the signal, General. Then he punched the ground. A hole opened. Toon Force pierced the ground. At the same time, Hulk roared from the ground. Hulk! Free! Gamma energy exploded. Two energies merged. Green and red light exploded. The explosion shook the entire facility. When the smoke cleared, Bugs and Hulk stood in the center. But they were different. Bugs's eyes glowed green. Hulk's body stretched like a toon. A temporary fusion had occurred. Wow, this is different. Hulk, love carrot, said Hulk. They looked at each other. They laughed. Then they ran. Soldiers fired, but nothing worked. Bugs caught bullets in mid-air. Hulk threw tanks. They moved in sync. Right, shouted Bugs. Hulk turned right, punched the wall. The wall collapsed. Left! Bugs jumped aside, threw an explosive carrot. The tower exploded. They escaped the facility, breathed free air. But they weren't free, because Maddox had called the entire army. On the Manhattan Bridge, there was the finale. Bugs and Hulk on one side, hundreds of soldiers, tanks, helicopters on the other. General Maddox spoke through a megaphone. Surrender. You have no other chance. Bugs pulled out a carrot. Chance? Doc, I'm a rabbit. Luck is my business. Hulk lifted a car from the ground. Hulk, want fight? No. Hulk, put it down. Hulk stopped, looked at Bugs. Why? Because we're not like them. We don't kill. We protect. Hulk slowly put the car down. Bugs. Friend. Yes, friend. They looked ahead. What will we do? Said Banner's voice from inside Hulk. We'll write the script, said Bugs. Soldiers attacked, but Bugs and Hulk defended. They bent weapons, disabled tanks, but killed no one. Bugs tied a soldier's gun like a potato. No need for guns, pal. Hulk lifted a tank and threw it into the river. Soldiers fled. Hulk, good! But Maddox played his final card. Missile. A massive missile was coming toward the bridge. "Run!" shouted Bugs. Hulk turned, saw the missile. "No, Hulk! Protect!" He jumped from the ground, caught the missile in midair. "Hulk!" shouted Bugs. Hulk held the missile. It was exploding. "Banner, drop it!" But Banner's voice came. "No, Bugs. Someone must protect." Hulk threw the missile upward into the sky. The explosion occurred in the sky. Light illuminated the entire city. Hulk fell to the ground. Bugs ran, came to his side. "Banner, wake up!" Hulk slowly transformed back to Banner. His eyes opened. He smiled. "Bugs, you are a good friend." "You too, Doc." "You too." Soldiers approached, but General Maddox stopped. Bugs stood up. "Enough." Maddox looked. "You're a weapon." "No, I'm free, and so is he." He pointed to Banner. "You must be controlled." "Control. You love that word. But real control is within us. Banner controlled Hulk. I controlled my destiny." Banner tried to stand up. Bugs helped. "We're not enemies. We're just different." Maddox drew his gun, but soldiers lowered their weapons. "General, they saved us. The missile would have destroyed the city." Maddox looked at the soldiers around him, then at Bugs and Banner. He lowered his gun. "Get out of here. But if I see you again, you won't, I promise." Bugs and Banner walked from the bridge. Behind them, a destroyed battlefield. But ahead, there was freedom. "What do we do now?" said Banner. Bugs pulled out a carrot. "Don't know, but we'll do it together." Banner smiled. "A rabbit and a monster." "The best team," said Bugs. They walked toward the sunset. The lights of Manhattan shone behind them. And that day, history forgot two heroes. But they never forgot each other. Years later, at Warner Brothers Studios, an old animator was looking at files. Strange, these scenes were never broadcast. On screen, Bugs Bunny and a green giant. They were laughing together, fighting together, surviving together. "It's like it's real," said the animator. He closed the file. But somewhere, in a deep forest, there was a rabbit eating carrots, and beside him, a green giant sleeping peacefully. Both were at peace, because they were free now, and as long as they were together, nothing could stop them. Who won, you ask? Neither, because the real victory wasn't in fighting, but in friendship. Bugs Bunny and Hulk started as enemies, but ended as heroes. And sometimes the greatest power is being together. Did this story happen in 1945? Maybe. Maybe it's still happening, because inside each of us there's a Bugs, and inside each of us there's a Hulk. The question is, which side do you choose? Rage or wit? The answer lies within you, and this story doesn't end here. This is just the beginning.